Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. It is Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach. We're here for another Sunday of You've Guessed It, the Success Starter series. Y'all know we go live each and every Sunday as we talk about different topics that are all around the ultimate topic of helping you to get your week set up for success. Because in doing the part to set your week up for success, you're honestly doing the part and you're doing the work to set your life up for success. And as your productivity and accountability coach, I'm all about coaching and empowering you to find that hidden time in your day, time that you can use to pour back into yourself as you're fulfilling your goals, your purpose, and your life passions while still maintaining your current responsibilities without the stress and without the overwhelm. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I've said it before, and as we continue in that vein of making sure that we take care of ourselves, our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health, all the things, that comes back to what it is that you're doing, how it is you're going about your day, how it is you're going about your week, what it is you're doing to set yourself up, and how you're going about that process. And as we continue in that vein and continue in that conversation, we're going to be diving in and we're going to be talking about feeling stuck. So if you're feeling stuck, this one is for you. So if you're feeling stuck in your planning and your execution, all the things, we're going to be talking about how we can make a plan together. And I don't just mean how we can make a plan together in the sense of how it is that you can work with me as your coach, but specifically, we're going to be talking about kind of like the planning process itself. Like, this isn't me being here just to be like, oh, work with me, work with me, work with me. Yes, you can work with me. We can walk through these things. We can do it for you, with you, together, and all of that. But when I'm talking about let's make a plan together, let's talk about and walk through and conversate through what that looks like. And so y'all know we're going to be using the Lee method, and we're going to be using that to walk us through looking at why you're stuck, examining the power of planning, and executing in terms of the actual plan, and understanding what it is you need to do next and what it is you can do next. So as we dive in, as we dive in and as we have that conversation, I want you to start thinking about, in what area are you stuck? In what area do you feel stuck? Maybe you've set goals. Maybe you even have the plan for the goals, but you're stuck in like being able to execute. Maybe you're stuck in the planning phase. Maybe you're stuck at creating this work-life balance. Maybe you're stuck because the game plan that you made out and what it is that you want to do, life isn't allowing you the ability to do that, and so you're stuck on literally what to do next. And so I want you to think about that, and as we go through and as we dive in, let's break it down. Let's put it to work. And so let's kick it off and let's talk about look at why you're stuck, because why you think you're stuck might not actually be the reason that you're stuck. And when we think about being stuck, I want you to look at and think about the fact that being stuck is a signal or a sign. It's a sign that it's time to pause. It might be time to pivot. It might be time to plan. It might be a time to do all three of those things. It just depends. And so being stuck is different than being stagnant. They can be the same in some regard, but when I'm talking about being stuck, this is like I'm trying to move, but I'm not able to. So like you're in quicksand, you're stuck in traffic. You want to go. You might even be trying to go, but you're not able to go. Stagnation is sometimes, when I think about stagnation in comparison to the two, I think of being stagnant as I'm just sitting here, like I'm stalling, I'm just not doing anything in an attempt to go. And so look at where it is you might be stuck. Like you're trying, you're doing all the things, but yet and still you're not getting the momentum. You're not able to make a plan. You're not able to do. You're making no progress. You're going nowhere. So look at that and ask yourself, do I need to pause? Do I need to plan? Or do I just need to pivot? Because you might think that you're stuck because you don't have enough time. You're not motivated. Time and motivation kind of are the main two. But really, the reason that you're stuck is because you don't actually have a plan. You have no structure. And so the reason that you quite possibly feel like you don't have time, or that you're lacking the motivation, or you don't want to do it, is because not having a plan or having that clear structure leaves you thinking and looking and just like racking your brain, essentially like, ugh, I know that I need to do something, but I don't really have a plan. a step-by-step process that I can walk through and work through to get to where it is that I'm looking to go. So most of the time, you're stuck because of your lack of planning, because of your poor planning. What do they say? Poor planning, proper planning prevents poor performance. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All of that. Let's bring all that into play right now. You're crashing out. You spinning out. You are, if we're using like the car scenario of you being stuck in traffic, you crashing out because you wanna be stuck or unstuck, I guess I should say. You wanna be unstuck so fast, you're just like revving the engine, and whether you put the car in park and you just gunning it, and so the tires are just spinning and you just burning out, but you're going nowhere, or you're determined to get somewhere even though literally traffic is at a standstill and there's no way for you to go around, and you just playing bumper cars to the cars in front of you. In both ways, you're making no progress. One, you spinning out and not making progress and just burning yourself out. The other, you're making progress, but you're causing more harm than good, because crashed out and then crashed into the other cars. You're hurt, you got damaged. You really are going to be going nowhere now, because now cops got to come and you got to go through this whole process of exchanging information and all the things. And if you're crashing out like that, your car's a bumper car, you probably can't even drive it. So look at why you're actually stuck. What's the plan? Do you have one? What's the structure? Do you have one? You think that you're stuck because of, like I said, the lack of motivation or not having time to do the things. But where in your plan are you giving yourself that time to do the things? Oh, you don't have a plan, because if you had a plan, you would have planned out when it is you're going to do it. If you had structure, you would know that this part of my day is for this, that part of my day is for that. The reason that I tell y'all, do a brain dump, make a to-do list, check your calendar, time block out your day, those different things, is because that's giving you structure to your day. That's giving you a plan for you to know what you need to do, when you're going to do it, and how you're going to get it done. So if you can take the time to look at why you're stuck, you might really see that you're not stuck because of the reasons you say that you're stuck. You're stuck for different reasons. And if you take that information and you translate it, because, okay, you've acknowledged that, okay, fine, I have no structure, I have no plan. What are we going to do about that? You're going to examine and begin to understand, because hopefully in that looking phase and understanding why you're really stuck, you're then able to see the power of planning. Because if you can examine the power of planning and doing so with intention, you'll see that it's not more hours in the day that I need. It was a plan that would work with my capacity, my energy, my boundaries, my bandwidth, all of those things. Because you keep saying, I wish I had time, or I can't get these things done. But if you had a plan that took into account your capacity, your energy, your bandwidth, the amount of time you need to devote to this, the amount of time you have to devote to this, the amount of time you want to devote to this, you'll start seeing how planning is going to help you to be able to do that. I was saying in my stories right before I came on that I was looking at kind of like where I am on my time block for the day, where I am on my to-do list for the day. And like, there's one thing from my morning time block that I haven't finished. No worries. I'll roll it over. It's rolling over into the afternoon, but I've done about half of my afternoon time block, and even my evening time block, I was able to knock out a couple of those things earlier in the day where I didn't think I was going to get them done. And like, I specifically planned it for the evening because I was like, okay, when I do TV time, I'm going to do these things, because part of it was like washing my dishes, pruning my plants, watering my plants and stuff. So I was like, while I'm in that part of the house, these things will just get knocked out because I can do them while I watch TV. But I ended up having time while I was in my clubhouse room to get those things done. And so, yes, there's one thing from the morning time block that I did not finish, but I'm halfway through my afternoon time block already, and I've already started knocking out stuff in my evening time block. So therefore, when we reverse engineer and push it back, or pull it back, we're good. And so I plan with intention, i.e., these are the tasks that I'm going to do while I'm in this area of the house, while I'm watching TV, because I can do these things while watching TV. What you need to understand is that you're not planning just to fill up your calendar. Your calendar is already full enough with things that are written, with things that are mental, and with things that are just going to pop up. We're not planning so you can put more stuff on the calendar. We're planning so that we can align your time with your priorities. Because when you start looking at your calendar and looking to see what it is you need to get done, whether that's literally looking at the time that things are scheduled, or just thinking about, I need to get these things done today, you'll start seeing and you'll start being able to understand that what I might be saying I need to do might not be the priority because it's not moving you closer to your goal. It's not moving you closer to where it is that you want to go. And so when you start looking at and really examining what is planning going to do for me, you'll become much more intentional with it. Because in taking the time to be intentional about creating your game plan and planning out your day, you'll start seeing where you have to say no to some things and where you might have been saying yes, but you might have should have been saying no. Or if you're going to say yes, it needs to be in a different way. I was working with my client last week, and we had talked the other week about like trying to create an anchor day in her week. The anchor day plan for the week before didn't work because things popped up. And so I was asking her kind of, how do you feel about that? And then we were planning her week for this week. It was like, okay, well, this is going to be your anchor day. Now, what are you going to do if people start trying to adjust? Like last week, your anchor day was on a Wednesday. This week, it's on a Friday. What are you going to do if people start trying to pivot and adjust and make you say yes or try to get you to say yes to it? How are you going to keep your anchor in place to essentially be like, if you can't do it when it's scheduled, here's my next available time. What are you going to do? And so when we start planning with intention in that way, then we're able to start understanding that if we understand our priorities, then we're able to align the time that we do have, the capacity that we do have with the priorities, and to know that these other things that might be priorities but might not be priority 1 and 2 are lower on the totem pole. I literally today, this morning before church, I wrote down, like I was sitting in bed and I was journaling, and I thought about like, these are my top tasks for the week. Like, yes, I did my brain dump. Yes, I made my to-do list. But, like, I came up with, it was 2 to 3 items that was going to be my 2 to 3, I think it was for work, and then 3 to 4 in terms of business, personal life aspect that were going to be my top priorities. So I wrote them on a sticky note. I wrote the business was on a sticky, my business was on a sticky note, and they're here on my computer. And then the work ones, I wrote them on a sticky note, and they're at my desk, like, at my table for me to grab when I go to work tomorrow. Because yes, I have my to-do list. Yes, I have my brain dump. Yes, I've planned out and thought about how I want the week to be structured. But if all else fails, this needs to happen this week in these 2 areas of my life, because it's going to set me up for next week when I'm about to start another trial. Like I was in trial last week. This week is going to be prepping for the trial this next week. And then from there, I have to travel. And I know that next week would typically be a big part of my planning for the month ahead. But if next week is going to be busy in work, that means it's going to be slower in business as well, because I might not have the capacity because of work to get things done. So what can I start doing this week to make sure I understand the priorities that are going to set me up for next week and the week after? And so when you really start planning with intention, you'll start getting to the place to where that stress and that overwhelm and that overcommitment will start to fade. And instead, you'll start taking actions because you're moving in alignment and with intention to the things that are going to move the needle. And as a result, the momentum will build. And so I know we were talking about lacking motivation earlier. You won't necessarily be looking for that motivation. You'll be disciplined because of the momentum that you're building and seeing the work and seeing the things. Like I'm disciplined to the point where I'm doing a brain dump, I'm making a to-do list, even if I'm traveling, even if I'm doing it on the plane, on the bus, like even if I'm doing it on a scratch piece of paper, like in between something, because I haven't had the time to sit still and really get it done, especially like during those travel times. I'm disciplined to where I know this is going to be the thing that's going to help set me up for the week. So let me do it. And so if you can think of and name, like I did, I mean, I didn't verbally tell you what they were, but like I did, the top priorities for me for the week, I put them front and center to make sure that it's reinforced. Because like I thought about those things when I was like I said, when I was sitting in the bed. And I think I know I had done my brain dump for work already. I think I had done my brain dump for like life and business, but that wasn't in front of me. So because those things came to mind as these are what my priorities need to be, I'm like, let me write them down on a separate sticky note and just put them here so that if something happens to where what I previously wrote down isn't in alignment with this is me sitting in this bed thinking about what needs to happen this week, where I need to be, what I need to do, and what I need to get done. And this is what I've decided the priorities are. So this is a difference from what I previously wrote down and planned. Here's potentially that pause, that plan, and that pivoting that I need to do when it comes to making sure that I'm not going to get stuck. And so when you look at that and when you can think about that, ask yourself then, because like I said, these might have been things that I came up with that I hadn't brain dumped before. In actuality, they were, because my business type, My business top tasks were things that I had brain dumped. My work top tasks were things that I had brain dumped and had written down. Both of them are things that I had brain dumped and written down. At work, I try to write my task in priority order. At home, I don't do it as much because the planner is like, it's the area is smaller. But these are the top priorities. Like, this is the priority. So like for work, I'm knocking out tomorrow morning. One of the top things for the week is like to get some jail visits done. I'm going to the jail in the morning, so I know that's going to get done. In going to the jail, I'm going to be talking to the client that I have trial for next week. He also has a status hearing, so for starting to prep his trial is thing number 2. Number 3, I got an extension on getting this motion filed, so that'll be the next thing. That'll be like Monday. It's going to be kind of focusing on this one thing. Tuesday is going to be focusing, like, so basically Monday is focusing on thing 1 and 3. Tuesday is going to be focusing on thing 2, and then if we get both of those done, thing 4 and 5 will happen after. Thing 5 is planning for the month ahead. Thing 4 is getting some deposition requests in. So then in terms of business and life, I know to also start working on my June planning because I'm back into blogging and emailing. I need to get those done for the week. Doing some podcasts, like some responses to some emails about podcasts. I need to get those done. And then doing some decluttering, because in that decluttering is going to help me to plan. So I know in each area, in each segment of my life, what are the top priorities. So I'm able to plan with those in mind. So stop saying that you need more hours in a day. Stop saying that. You're not going to get them. You can say it all you want, but you're not going to get them. So what can you do instead? You can plan with your capacity in mind. You can plan with your day in mind. You can plan with your energy in mind. You can plan with your capacity in mind. You can't get more hours in your day. It's impossible. Stop asking for more. But what you can do is you can take control of the time that you do have and put it to work in a way that's beneficial to you, in a way that's going to work for you, in a way that's going to help you to move on to where it is you're looking to go. And so if we can look at and understand why you're stuck and understand that the reason you think you're stuck probably isn't really the reason, if you can examine the power of planning and utilize that to start planning with intention, you're then going to be able to execute. You're going to be able to execute in understanding what you need to do next. Because you might be asking yourself, okay, I get it. I need to plan, but what next? What now? And so the theme for May has been about moving from mayhem to momentum. Going from having momentum over mayhem. So transitioning from this place of mayhem to this place of momentum. So what does that look like in the execution phase in terms of what do you need to do next? Yeah, I know I said it earlier, but what y'all need to do next? You need to do your brain dump. You need to make your to-do list. And you need to plan and understand what are your focus tasks each day. Because if you take the time to do your brain dump, checking your calendar, making your to-do list, you'll see your capacity, you'll see your bandwidth for the week, and then you can utilize that to plug and play 1 to 3 tasks each day that you're going to focus on. You're not making a 10-task to-do list for the day. You might have a 10-task to-do list for the week, and then you divide that up across the day. Because even when you think about potentially the task itself, so like for me, saying jail visits, I got a lot of clients I can go see. Who are the priorities? So I have 6 written down that my goal is to see in the morning. Of those 6 that are written down, is it 6 or is it 4? I think it's 6. Of those 6 that are written down, like 3 of the 6 are top priority. Of those 3, 1 for sure is a top priority, the one who has court and who has trial coming up. So there are levels to it. Saying that I want to put in deposition requests. Okay, for how many cases? Which case is the priority? Saying that I need to work on my blog and my email. Yeah, that's one blog and that's one email. But there's still parts to it. Writing it, editing it, getting it scheduled, sending it out, sharing it, talking about it. Like, there's levels to it. So what is it that you need to do? How is it that you need to show up? And what is this framework essentially that you can utilize so you can start using it immediately? Do your brain dump. Group those light tasks together so that you can then make a to-do list based off your calendar and your capacity, and then understanding what are the top tasks for the week, and then specifically what are the top tasks for each day. That's it. That's what you need to do next. It's that simple. Because I know you're tired of the stress and the overwhelm. You've been trying to do it alone. You're still trying to do it alone. And I'm not saying that doing it alone isn't possible, But maybe right now in this season, it's not possible for you because you've been there, you've done that, you've tried it, and you've made no progress. So why not do it with help? You could book a personalized productivity audit. We can have a single session call. You can have a productivity strategy session where we have one call. We work together to create one calendar, i.e., one game plan for your week, and you can utilize this one thing to shift your entire life. You can have this framework of a schedule for a week and you can plug and play as the days and the weeks come on. Or we can work together for 6 weeks with one-on-one coaching and you can get that plus the added layer of accountability and support to work through that process and to make the adjustments to where we have a schedule that fits. To where maybe we make this template schedule, but we have these ironclad items that are stationary and that are stuck, and then we have these plug and play items that we adjust and we pivot around for the week. Whichever one it is you need, I'm here to help you get what it is that you need. Not what I say you need, what it is that you actually need. So if you've been looking at why am I stuck, trying to figure out why are you stuck, if you've been trying to examine and create this game plan for planning because you know you need to do it, we're past the age where we can just remember stuff in our head and not put it in our calendar. And you really want to execute. You really want to let go of that stress and that overwhelm, let go of that mayhem, and you really want to start building that momentum that's going to help you to continue to take action, continue to make progress, to continue to show up. We need to talk. You can comment the word planner. You can head to the link and you can book a personalized productivity audit and we can have a conversation to really work through this and talk through this. I want you to stop feeling stuck. I want you to be able to make a plan. We can do it together. You can listen to this, listen back to it, put it to work and apply it. Look at why you're stuck because the reason you're stuck is probably not the reason that you think it is. You can examine the power of planning and understanding how planning with intention is the thing that you need to do, and you can execute. You can go do. You can understand what it is that you need to do next. That brain dump, that to-do list, checking your calendar, making your plan for the week. That's what you need to do. That's the execution phase. So if you're feeling stuck, I hope this has helped to clear some of those cobwebs, let go of some of that stress and overwhelm, and help you to be able to make a plan. We can make a plan together, just like we did here, but more specific, more in tune to you by really walking through what it is that you need to do for you. So it's been Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, here for another Sunday of, you've guessed it, the Success Starter series. We'll be back next Sunday, same time, same place, as we continue to journey through the conversation. It's actually next week will be the last Sunday of the month of May. So it'll be the last Sunday of our topic, of our theme, as we've been journeying through Mental Health Awareness Month and making sure that in taking care of yourself and taking care of your schedule and doing the work to do all the things, you're not only taking care of your mental health, but you're also taking care of your plan and your schedule. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope this has been beneficial to you. Put it to work. Let me know if you have questions. Again, if you need support, if you need accountability, reach out to me in the DMs or you can comment the word plan. We can have a conversation and figure out what it is you need and how it is that I can help you. But until next time, guys, Coach Lee is